Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillahi amma ba'd. I welcome all of you back to our class. Alhamdulillah. So we've had a week at playing with the first 50 phrases, and Alhamdulillah. I hope you all have had a fun week. MashaAllah. You know, putting all of these phrases into practice. So just to begin the lesson, inshallah, just a quick feedback. How successful were you, inshallah, at using these phrases around yourselves? And do you think you've got them down now, mashallah? You've memorized them after you went through the exercise of putting them in your phrase books and then reviewing them every day and listening to the audio? How did that play for you guys, inshallah, over the course of the week? MashaAllah. Khairin, inshallah. Things will become better for, where you're weak, inshallah. That's fine. That happens. Alhamdulillah. طيب. So most of you have memorized majority of them. And as we've said previously as well, it all comes down to how relevant these phrases become for you in your day-to-day life. So the more you use them, depending on how often you encounter those situations where you need to say them. And of course, that's going to happen completely outside your control. So inshallah, over time, inshallah, you'll see how some of these things become very, very easy for you to use and recall when there is need to, inshallah. طيب, فلنبدأ. Let's begin. So we got up to phrase number 50, right? So let's begin. So because we've done that tasks and we're good with it, so we don't need revision. Let's just continue with 51, and we'll continue with the same pattern. We'll stop after every 10 phrases and see where we stand. طيب, inshallah. Bismillah. استمتع بوقتك. Enjoy your time. استمتع بوقتك. And this is istimta' or mumta', fun. We've done this word. I think we've seen this word floating around a lot in our messages in the past week, right? So ممتع. كان ممتعا. It was fun. كان ممتعا. It was fun, right? Or استمتعت. I enjoyed in the past, and استمتعت. استمتعوا for the present, and then of course, as we said last week as well, if you want to change the pronoun of it, you just change the alif at the beginning. So instead of saying astamti'u, I enjoy, you will say tastamti'u, or he enjoys, yastamti'u, right? In any case, inshallah, all of these nuances about the grammar will come as we read, inshallah, more. But let's move on. So astamti'u, or this is a command, right? So istamti' biwaqtik. So if you want to say to someone, enjoy your time, or istamti'. طيب, inshallah. biwaqtik. istamti'. Right. This is great. هذا رائع. ممتاز. Excellent. جيد جدا. Very good. مبروك. Congratulations. هل يمكنني الجلوس هنا? Or you can join the knee with the lam. هل يمكنني الجلوس هنا? هل يمكنني الجلوس هنا? Right? Is it possible for me to sit here? That's the literal translation. So roughly put, can I sit here? If you ask someone politely, inshallah. You can also say هل لي أن أجلس هنا? Okay, inshallah. هل لي أن أجلس هنا? You can also say هل لي. Is it possible for me? And so you omit the verb يمكنني, and you say هل لي أن أجلس. You turn it into a verb. هنا. هل لي لام يا لي أن همزة نون أن أجلس. I sit. أجلس هنا. Okay. هل لي أن أجلس هنا أو أجلس هنا؟ هل يمكنني الجلوس هنا؟ Either way is fine, inshallah. Moving on. الطقس حار اليوم. الطقس is the weather, right? حار, hot. اليوم, today. فهمت? So you can also say al-jaw. At-taqs is the weather. You can also replace the word at-taqs with al-jaw. Okay, al-jaw. Alif lam al jim waw jaw. Al-jaw, al-jaw حار اليوم. طيب إن شاء الله. So don't confuse the word at-taqs with taxes. Although I know it's getting quite hot these days with taxes in different countries. But one of the funny ways of remembering weather is actually to use a mnemonic, where you imagine weather to be like a tax system, and it's hot, so it's squeezing money out of you. In any case, it's just a fun mnemonic to memorize the word. الجو حار جدا, very very hot. حار جدا جدا اليوم. Right? You can also say that. طيب, so just be playful with these words. See the opposite. الطقس بارد اليوم. How would you say the weather is really really cold? How would you change this? Use the other word for الطقس. How would you say that? Quickly, everyone. So instead of saying it's cold, we're saying it's very very cold today. How would you say that? But I said very, very, not very cold, but very, very cold. Al-jaw, very good, mashallah. So the other word for at-taqs is al-jaw, we just covered it, mashallah. And barid, jiddan, jiddan, right? You'll just repeat the word jiddan, very, very. طيب إن شاء الله فهمتم? Understood? طيب إن شاء الله So الجو بارد جدا جدا اليوم. Right? Inshallah, we'll get into the nuances of how to say it was cold yesterday. Right? كان الجو باردا جدا بالأمس. So these are words which will come inshallah as we progress بإذن الله تعالى. So just to turn everything into the past tense, you can just put the kana behind this sentence, and it will roughly translate to something happening in the past. Of course, you'll have to change the word al-yawm accordingly. So for example, you would say kana taqs. So you want to say the weather was cold yesterday. So you just replace the word today with yesterday. And to give the whole sentence the meaning of the past, you just add the word kana at the beginning. كان الطقس حارا بالأمس. كان الطقس باردا بالأمس. Right? And as you can notice, I'm saying حارا, not حارun. It's case ending that changes with the addition of the kana. Right? The second word after kana, it takes on that. Okay? Inshallah. Anyway, let's move on. This is something that we'll catch up on later as we read more. So, أنا ضائع, I'm lost. أنا ضائع, right? When you're in a state of frustration and you have no idea where you're going, you say أنا ضائع. طيب, I'm lost. طيب. You can also say أنا. Of course, ضللت. I've come off the path, right? Of course, ضللت is from ضال, which is someone, of course, who is misguided. Allah, astaghfirullah. But linguistically, you can also use the word ضللت, يعني I've come off the path, I've lost my track, right? But anyway, أنا ضائع. Number 60. مثلا if we want to say, do you have a pen? هل عندك قلم? هل عندك قلم? And if you remember, we replace the word عند with لدي. If you just scroll up quickly, I just want to have you make you look at what so we said لدي سؤال, right? Over there we said عندي السؤال. We can replace لدي with سؤال, right? With عندي لدي, and we can replace لدي with عندي. Both will convey roughly the same meaning, or exactly the same meaning in our common day-to-day lives, inshallah, right? So although grammatically they're different. So if we come back to this word that we're doing at the moment, هل عندك, you can say هل لديك, right? You can just use the word لديك as well. هل لديك قلم? هل عندك كتاب؟ هل عندك حاسوب? Do you have a computer? حاسوب. Inshallah. Right, so far, 60, mashallah, done. How does everyone feel? كيف تشعرون؟ كيف تشعرون? How does everyone feel? How do you guys feel? ليس صعب نعم. It's not difficult. هل هو صعب? Is it difficult? هل هو صعب؟ لا الحمد لله. هو سهل جدا جدا نعم. هل هو سهل أو سهل جدا أو سهل جدا جدا؟ أين تقعون في هذه Where do you guys stand? جدا أو يعني بدون جدا أو جدا جدا؟ نعم سهل ليس جدا ها. طيب. As we've said, mashallah, the trick is, of course, to keep exposing yourselves to these phrases. It's not going to come in, on day one. It's not going to come on day 2 or day 3. Perhaps it will come for some people. But the trick is to keep reviewing the phrases, every day, inshallah. And over time, you'll see how everything just clicks. طيب, that's the only way to learn any language. You just need to expose yourselves. In fact, in the world of marketing, they say that if you want to sell something to someone, there has to be some 11 touch points over the course of 7 different, platforms, right? So that's almost 50 interactions that you need for an idea to click and for someone to be sold on something, right? So you can you can make the same analogy for learning, although it's a bit simpler for in terms of learning because you can pick up something very well and retain it if you've been exposed to it, perhaps for roughly around 5 to 10 to 11 times. I mean, that is my experience. So it might vary for some people, and it can also vary from word to word. طيب, let's move on. كم عمرك? عمري, and then you say the age. Right, let's ask this question now. كم عمرك? If I ask this to you guys, كم عمرك, you would say عمري, and you would say the number after it. فهمت? So كم عمرك? Go on everyone. عمري. ليس is for the past tense normally, and it's used with a sentence. And la can be used for just a verb on its own. But normally laysa is used to give that something, that is not as in the past but it's used interchangeably. When it comes in the context, inshallah, it will make more sense when we do it. But at the moment, just pick up the phrases as we are learning them, inshallah. Right, so if I ask you guys, kam umruk, which is one of you, for example, kam umruk, you would say umri and then the number after it. Umri, مثلا 20 سنة, or umri, مثلا 30 سنة, whatever the case may be, right? And there's different ways of saying it. You can also say أنا بنو or أنا بنت 20, or whatever the case may be, like with your age. There's fusha ways of answering this question, right? When he was a boy of this age, for example, أنا ابن or أنا بنو, مثلا I'm a boy of age X, Y, and Z, right? There's different ways of saying it, but to keep things simple, inshallah, you say عمري and the number, right? Inshallah, عمري 20, or you can say yes, so that's fine, inshallah. عمري 21. So you so hadi would not be used here. Just say 21 عمري 21. طيب, inshallah, this is simple. This is easy. Let's move on. So now you can tell someone your age. Right. أين تعيش وأين تسكن? You can say in both ways. You can say أين تعيش وأين تسكن. عيش is a place where you live, and second is more literally a house, a second where you live. Okay, inshallah. Aish is more generally your life in general, how you live, and then the second is the place where you live, right? But generally speaking, these are used interchangeably. So أين تعيش, أين تسكن, the same thing. أنا أعيش وأنا أسكن في. And then you mention your city or your neighborhood. You say حي مثلا. I live near the let's say the university neighborhood, for example. You know, حي الجامعة. I live in the university مثلا neighborhood or close to the university, whatever the case may be. Right? So this is something that's gonna vary from person to person. So هل تعيش قرب الجامعة؟ هل تعيش, I'm asking you, as in, do you live close to the جامعة? هل تعيش قرب الجامعة? Right? I say لا, أنا أعيش قريبا من مثلا أو قرب, and then you say مثلا to the library قرب المكتب or مكتبة, right? So you can replace the place at the end of it and replace the verb تعيش with أعيش. أسكن وأعيش. أين تعيش؟ أنا أعيش في مثلا لاهور. As for me, you say أنا أعيش في London. أنا أعيش في مثلا, and may say the name of the city as well, right? But when someone normally says where you live, they're asking specifically where in that place. So you can be a bit more specific, inshallah, as we learn how to do that. طيب. Another key question that people like to ask, especially Arabs like to ask you, هل أنت متزوج? Are you married? And you can just say to them, well, you don't have to say anything to them, but هل أنت متزوج is a common question, so you should know. Normally it's directed friendly if you're meeting someone in person. But yeah. Number 66, هل عندك أطفال? Do you have children? So notice how this is very similar to number 60, هل عندك? Do you have? Right? So it just replaces something in the question. هل عندك أطفال? Do you have children? And so on and so forth. Okay? هل عندك أطفال؟ هل عندك قلم؟ هل عندك كتاب؟ هل عندك حاسوب? And you can keep replacing the nouns of it. The nouns after عندك. طيب. Moving on. ماذا تعمل? What do you do? And you can also say ما مهنتك? What is your profession or vocation? What do you do? ما مهنتك? مهنة. Right? And you say أنا طالب وأنا موظف. أنا طبيب. So طالب, student, موظف, an employee. Or عامل, you can say عامل as well. أنا طبيب, doctor. Yeah, so let's stop there. How is everyone faring so far? We've reached, mashallah, number 70. Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah, sahal, alhamdulillah. 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 Right, 30 more to go, inshallah. Does everyone feel the same way, inshallah? Everyone's coping well? Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. طيب. Just replace your profession after ana and you would have answered the question. What do you do? Okay. Moving on. So remember we read the phrase أحبك, right? I love you. From the same verb أحبك, أحب, there is تحب. Do you like or love عملك, your job? هل تحب عملك? Do you like your job or do you love your job? Right? أما أنا أحب عملي, alhamdulillah. As for me, I love my work. هل تحب عملكم? هل تحبون عملكم? Do you guys love your jobs? Do you guys love what you do? And in that response, or in response to that, you will say نعم أو لا, and then you can give the reason for either case, depending on the conversation, how it goes, right? Now, again, أين تعمل? Where do you work? أين تعمل? أو أين عملك? Where's your work? طيب. وأين مكتبك? Where's your office? أين تعمل? Where do you work? أين عملك, where is your work? Again, the same way, but in terms of as a noun. And then أين مكتبك, where's your office? Right, moving on. A new verb, inshallah. كيف أصل, I get to, I reach. أصل, I reach. Again, أصل can be used for different people. So أصل, I reach, I get to. تصل, you get to. يصل, he gets to or he reaches, and so on and so forth. Okay, أصل, تصل, يصل. So far you've done three sort of beginnings for present tense, but we've just covered them in just as in passing, right? We haven't done any of these formally, because this is not the right time for covering extensive grammar. Although we will, inshallah, conduct an exercise, inshallah, tomorrow, where I want to expose you to some grammar in a fun way, inshallah. طيب, كيف أصل إلى مثلا محطة القطار, right? How do I get to the train station? Okay. How do I get to كيف أصل إلى مكتب مثلا وزارة الأوقاف مثلا? How do I get to the office of the foreign affairs, right? And so on and so forth. Different ways to say, there are different ways to say how do I get to, but let's just stick to one, inshallah, for now. Inshallah, this is for the sake of ease. But is this fine, inshallah, for everyone? كيف أصل إلى, and then you replace the place you want to get to at the end. كيف أصل إلى البيت من هنا. For your last message, for example, you say أنا ضائع, right? I'm lost. And you ask someone كيف أصل إلى هذا المكان, this place, or you want to get to, and you should perhaps show them the address or something. So you can put these two together, right? So say you're walking in the town center and you've lost your way and you have no idea how to get back. So you stop someone and say أنا ضائع, I'm lost. كيف أصل إلى هذا المكان, and you show them the address, for example, and then they will guide you in X, Y, and Z ways, right? طيب, moving on. هل يوجد مطعم قريب? Is there a restaurant nearby? هل يوجد مطعم قريب من هنا? Or you can say هل هناك مطعم في مثلا say قريب من هنا. هل هناك مطعم قريب من هنا? Okay. كيف أصل إلى السوق is a market. The word السوق doesn't seem right. What do you intend by that, inshallah? I'll correct that depending on what you intend, inshallah. طيب, so هل هناك مطعم قريب من هنا? هل هناك مطعم قريب من هنا? هل هناك, so you can replace يوجد with هناك. Is there, هل هناك مطعم قريب من هنا? السوق, نعم, السوق, market, السوق. طيب, هل هناك مطعم قريب من هنا? هل يوجد مطعم قريب من هنا? Right. For example, if you replace the word restaurant with a hospital, you would say هل يوجد مستشفى قريب من هنا؟ هل هناك مستشفى قريب من هنا؟ And so on and so forth. واضح إن شاء الله؟ تمام؟ هل هذا واضح للجميع? Is it clear for everyone? هل هذا واضح للجميع؟ تمام, الحمد لله. Right. هذا صديقي. This is my friend. هذا صديقتي. صديقتي, the difference between the two is what? The ta after the qa. صديق, friend, male. صديقة, friend, female. Okay? And then the ya at the end is my. هذا صديقي. هذه صديقتي. هذه صديقتي. Right. How would you say this is my book? How would we say this is my book? Exactly. Very good. Well done, mashallah. You would just add a ya at the end of the ba. هذا كتابي. Very good, mashallah. طيب, how would you say this is my teacher, female? The word for teacher is muallim for the male. How would you say this? This is my female, this is my teacher, female. How would you say that? Ustadati, good, that's correct. What else? Muallimati, Jamil, mashallah. You can also say mudarrisa, هذه مدرستي, she's my teacher. Muallimati is aqrab, it's the closest in meaning, inshallah. So, alhamdulillah, I think you guys have got a hang of it. So just put the ta at the end of a noun, male, and you've turned it. You will have turned it into a female, right? Although technically, inshallah, you'll learn that this is only possible for nouns which are mushtaqat, which have been taken from action words such as verbs, right? Like alima, ya'lamu, ilman, muallim. From allama yu'allimu, ta'aliman, muallim, the one who teaches, right? Alim, alim, these are mushtaqat, these are nouns. And you can only add the tas at the end of these kind of nouns, which are not like, which do not describe specific people or places or persons, right? General, right? Sadiq, again, is from, the root letters sad, dal, and qaf, right? So Sadiq is the same wazn as fa'il, alim, right? Or khabir, kabir. So Sadiq, inshallah. In any case, هذه صديقتي وهذا صديقي, هذا معلمي وهذه معلمتي, inshallah. Let's move on. Right, very common question, inshallah. Very common question here. ما هي هواياتك? What are your hobbies? Okay? What are your hobbies? ما هي هواياتك? You would say هواياتي, my hobbies are here, وهواياتي هي القراءة مثلا, reading. Or you'd say هواياتي مثلا whatever your hobbies are, inshallah. You just replace that with, so for example, هواياتي هي مثل الكتابة. I love writing, so my hobby is writing, perhaps, right? I love to read, or I love to play football. Like, so you can just هوايتي هي كرة القدم, or whatever the case may be, right? So you can replace your hobbies. Hobbies can be a million, right? Inshallah ta'ala. طيب. So if I ask you this question, ما هي هواياتك? Just give me two of your hobbies, inshallah, everyone. Quickly. ما هي هواياتك? لا بالإنجليزي, بالعربية يا حباب, بالعربية. Excuse me. Right. Okay. Right, so there are some examples, inshallah, moving ahead. Okay, let's carry on. أحب القراءة, أحب السفر. So you can answer to this question in this way as well. هوايتي هي القراءة, السفر, والرياضة, and so on and so forth. أحب القراءة, أحب السفر, أحب الرياضة, sports. فهمت إن شاء الله؟ نعم, المشي والطبخ. الحمد لله. Right, so that's 81. Let's move on. Let's continue with this. أنا مريض, I'm sick. أحتاج إلى طبيب, I need a doctor. أحتاج إلى, we've done the word أحتاج إلى before. أحتاج إلى مساعدة, I need help. أحتاج إلى طبيب, I need a doctor. Right? Does everyone remember أحتاج إلى? You guys remember? أحتاج إلى مساعدة, the phrase? نعم. Right? So the same, it's just using the same thing and replacing it with the word طبيب. أحتاج إلى طبيب. I need a doctor. أنا مريض. أحتاج إلى طبيب. Right. Right. If you want to exchange your phone number with someone, or you want to ask for their phone number, for example, then you say to them, ما هو رقم هاتفك? Okay. ما هو, what is رقم number, هاتف, phone, ك yours. هاتفك, your phone. Okay. رقم number. ما هو رقم هاتفك? هاتف is a phone, right? ما هو رقم هاتفك? ما هو رقم هاتفك? You say رقمي or رقمي هو, and then you say the number. Okay? رقمي, inshallah. Is it clear for, is this clear for everyone, inshallah? Only 15 more to go. Everyone with me so far, inshallah? طيب, alhamdulillah. Right, moving on. هل تستطيع القيادة? Can you drive? القيادة is to drive. Alhamdulillah. Right, my daughter has officially joined the class. She's brought a chair, mashallah. طيب, هل تستطيع القيادة? Or you can also say هل تقود السيارة? Do you drive a car? Do you drive? هل تقود السيارة? Do you drive the car? Okay. Right. هل تستطيع القيادة? You say هل تقود السيارة? Do you تقود? If you notice that at the beginning is for the you, okay? أستطيع, I can. Right, look at the answer. أنا لا أستطيع القيادة. I cannot drive. Okay? هل تستطيع القيادة؟ لا, أنا لا أستطيع القيادة. Right? هل تقود السيارة? Do you drive a car? نعم, أنا أقود السيارة. I drive the car. Or I drive a car. Okay, inshallah? Inshallah. Right, inshallah. طيب. Okay, now this is a funny word. هل تحب الطهي? But let's just stay. Let's just stick to الطبخ. هل تحب الطبخ? You say نعم أحب الطبخ. Right? I love cooking. Right, inshallah. But you can say الطهي. Right? Or you can say لا أحب الطهي. I don't like to cook. Right, الطبخ is probably everyone is familiar with it, so inshallah just stick to that, بإذن الله. Right, that's 90, mashallah, just 10 more to go. Right, and then we'll quickly, break for a small break, inshallah. طيب. Where can I find a gas station? أين أستطيع إيجاد محطة البنزين? محطة, station, البنزين, gas. إيجاد, find. أين أستطيع? Where can I? Right. You can also, so for the sake of simplicity, you can ask someone, أين محطة البنزين? Where is the gas station? أين محطة البنزين? واضح إن شاء الله؟ أين محطة البنزين؟ وأين أستطيع إيجاد محطة البنزين؟ أين أستطيع إيجاد محطة البنزين؟ طيب. Right. Again, أحتاج إلى ماء. I need water. أريد الماء. I need water. I want water. أحتاج إلى ماء. I need water. So there's a stronger connotation when you say أحتاج. I need water. أحتاج إلى ماء. How would you say I need water, please? How would you say that? Quickly. I need water, please. نعم, أحتاج إلى ماء من فضلك. ما شاء الله, well done. Right, so أين محطة البنزين? أين الصيدلية? صيدلية pharmacy. Okay. أين أين الصيدلية صيدلية pharmacy. Right. أين محطة القطار, where is the train station, right? And so on and so forth. Just replace the name of the place and say أين. أين البيت, أين المكتبة, أين الجامعة, and so on and so forth. Moving on. Alright, say you go to a fancy restaurant and they say to you, oh, you can't come in, do you have a reservation? Just 1 second. هل لديك حجز? Do you have a reservation? 1 second, please. Right. هل لديك حجز? Do you have a reservation? And you can reply to that with yes or no or whatever the case may be. طيب. أنا في عجلة من أمري. أنا في عجلة من أمري. I'm in a hurry. Now this is a very interesting phrase. في عجلة من أمري. عجلة من أمري. It's actually used quite a lot in different ways. Inshallah, it will become more clear as we read more and we expose ourselves to, to Arabic. Inshallah. But it's a very, very useful phrase. So mark this, inshallah, with an asterisk or something. Just make sure to review this. I'm in a hurry. أنا في عجلة من أمري. عجلة من أمري. Right. على مهلك. على مهلك. Take your time. Or مهلا. مهلا على رسلك. Easy. Just be easy. Or take your time. على مهلك. طيب. How's your family? كيف حال عائلتك وكيف حال أسرتك. عائلة with the ta at the end and أسرة with the ta at the end. أسرتك. كيف حال أسرتك. كيف حال عائلتك. Okay. Moving on. Just last three. Of course, Ramadan Kareem is familiar to everyone. So كل شيء على ما يرام. Everything's as it is normally. MashaAllah, everything is fine. كل شيء على ما يرام. It's a very fusha way of saying everything is good. MashaAllah. Okay. So instead of saying كل شيء بخير, say كل شيء على ما يرام. Okay. كل شيء على ما يرام. It's a more eloquent way of saying everything is fine. Everything is good. Inshallah. كل شيء على ما يرام. طيب. And lastly, inshallah, how do you wish someone have a happy day? أتمنى لك يوما سعيدا. أتمنى لك يوما سعيدا. فهمتم inshallah? And that is the end of our 100 phrases. Alhamdulillah. طيب inshallah. So quickly, we'll take a 5 to 10 minute break inshallah and come back for a very exciting session that I've planned for you guys inshallah. طيب. Barakallah feekum. I'll see you guys in a few minutes.